Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and plenty to dive into today. The groups at VCT Masters are over. The 8 teams are officially qualified and set in for the brackets. Some unbelievable matches yesterday, but FNS from OpTic making it very clear this year's format, in his opinion, is absolutely terrible. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much as well for 14,000 subscribers. Getting like 500 subs in the last 2 or 3 days. So that's absolutely spectacular. Let's crack straight on with this from the Gen.G front. GMD, as he's known, he's going to be leaving this roster. Guimond, he's out of there, seemingly going to be joining the TSM team. So Gen.G officially announced this he's gone. These are the current rumors that are going on right now across all the boards in the North American sides. And again, TSM plus GMD plus 7 seems to be the way they're going with Elgato, right, gone a couple of days ago. And then of course, wardell as well, stepping out, not deciding to move to Texas, all this type of stuff. 7 is stepping into that team over there. Just wanted to mention this as well. Another loud player, seemingly let's player less, has also tested positive. So that's rather interesting. Seemingly they have a lot of spare secondary isolation rooms the players can play from, because the statement comes out actually from Valorant Esports again yesterday that in addition to Aspas, also this less player from Loud has also tested positive. So this is rather interesting. They'll be playing it from a second isolated room with their teammates, and opposing team will compete from the nearby competition rooms. So very strange, but I guess they're going to show off their massively long Ethernet cable again, as they seem to be doing with the coaches right now to make this work. How much is it going to affect this team? We saw at Champions last year, right, when Victor was unwell, that he was playing in his separate room, and that seemed to affect them to quite some degree. Didn't have the result that they were looking for. We'll discuss OpTic here, as they are now known in just a second, in their match against Xerxia last night. But it's kind of interesting how this works out for Loud, because one of the most promising teams in the entire tournament, no doubt, but not putting themselves in the most ideal position. Not really all that much they can do about it, though, I imagine, unfortunately. Let's talk about this OpTic series then. They're back in business. The rematch officially last night up against Xerxia. They played the first match of the tournament. They lost that one in pretty controversial fashion, or at least it was controversial after the fact. Their coach Chet came out in some interviews saying that the compositions that the Xerxia guys were using were pretty cringe, effectively, which it was an interesting interview. I was going to discuss it here on the channel, but there was too much going on with the Sinatraa, Hiko stuff to really dive into. But there was a lot of talk about Chet, that the coach of the team, he was getting roasted all across the park, to be honest. There were a lot of different people in the scene saying that he's given no respect to their opponents and these type of things. And who knows, maybe that will continue as the tournament progresses, but they do manage to make it through right here. Interesting series. They finally played they should be favourites in a series like this, but still, this Extend Crit team, and now known as Xerxia, has seemingly just been the bane of their existence the last couple of years or so. They win game 1. Victor, honestly, was the factor right here, but it was funny, really, to me, that Chet was talking about the cringe comps that Xerxia were using in their first series they played, and now look at this, right? We've got OpTic coming through with a Neon. They used Neon both maps here, Victor did. Honestly, it's a great success, but you got to say it was pretty funny that he was talking about the cringe compositions that the team was using before, and now all of a sudden it's actually the OpTic guys that I guess are pulling something similar out the bag. In fairness, it did seem to work rather well for them. They go here on the game 2 over to the Haven, and this is where Ye just has some moments like this, for example. He gets the 1 kill with the headhunter, bang, this gets the second as well. Absolutely beautiful. I've never seen a player more effective when aiming down sights with the Chambers Deagle, as he is right here. So yeah, this is a massive round for them. Game 1 was pretty comfortable on the Fracture. Game 2 was even more so. So OpTic finally getting onto their level that we expected them to be at. Coming into the tourney, most people, maybe not most people, but a lot of people had them number 1 ranked in the world, or at least in terms of power rankings, them being the favourites, because a lot of the European teams have been having their struggles. We'll see how G2, of course, get on here over the coming days. And then towards the end, Marv had some good moments as well here when OpTic were already up 10-6, or 10-5 as it was at the time. They end up winning the game, I believe, 13-6, and OpTic take down Xerxia. So finally they get over the line. I think at a series they needed to win. Obviously, the winner of this got through to the playoffs. Xerxia don't make it, unfortunately for them. They got the round 1 upset against OpTic, but it doesn't work out in the long term. This also from when Chet sees a cringe composition. Thought this is pretty funny as well. Chet baited everyone saying Xerxia used cringe compositions and strategies to lull them into a false sense of security, to hit them with a double knee on both maps. So works out for OpTic. Of course, they're going to need to continue on this reign. They play a very tough match in theory, round 1. I'm surprised actually the way these the tournament has been formatted, just because OpTic, of course, yes, they did lose 1 game, and if they'd have won that game, they'd have been in the situation where Liquid are playing up against Loud in round 1, but they will play the Guard round 1. So North American number 1 versus North American number 2. Rematch from the grand finals of the playoffs is going to be in winners round 1. To me, that's surprising. I would have thought they would have done it so that the Guards plays one of the teams from the group where OpTic isn't in. Do you know what I mean? I think in an ideal world, you shouldn't have it where your 2 top teams from one of the best regions will play, or even possible to play each other round 1. I think you should try and avoid that possibility, right? So if it were me, I would have made sure the Guard plays a team from Group A, as opposed to giving them a chance to play a team from Group B, where you can get a matchup of 2 North American teams in round 1. Seems kind of strange to me. One of them will be going to the lower bracket straight away, but that game I believe is coming up tomorrow. We'll look at the schedule here towards the end of the video, but as Gay says, Revenge Arc complete. The APAC region is strong. They have some great teamwork. They force both myself and the team to work on some fundamentals. Super glad we're able to showcase a better version of ourselves. Thank you all for the support. The final stats look like this. OpTic 2-0. Yay, of course, no real surprise there. Had a great series, but it's Victor who was the key to the team on the Neon, 43 and 29. When he plays well, the team is usually going to have success. But there's been many complaints about this tournament all across the board. This, of course, we looked at yesterday, the kind of insane thing where the coaches are down here. And I even put this on 2x speed yesterday. But even 2x speed doesn't quite do it justice, how far this coach has to walk to get to the players. And as Ethan says, they went from having the coaches sit behind the players to putting them in a completely different building. What happened, right? What are Riot's playing at? And this actually some statements here from FNS. He's been making it very clear he's not happy and not convinced the way this format works that it's actually a good idea. He says the following: I don't think any team should just make playoffs. Of course, OpTic have very much struggled to get through. They take down Xerxia in the end. They win their game 1 match against Crew as well in the losers round 1 after losing to Xerxia. They make it through, but still for just winning online, like you get a straight up bye into the playoffs, which maybe is too strong. As FNS says, don't think any team should get that bye. I think even if we won the final versus the Guard online, I would still be saying that it's a ridiculous thing that any team can just make the playoffs going from online play. Right from online play to the playoffs, and not even having to play the group stages. I think every team should have to play group stages and earn their spot in the playoffs, but that's not the fault of the teams or anything. I just think it's a terrible format. In that sense, they should not do that. Was it unfair? I think yes, it was kind of unfair. I think it was ridiculous as well. So yeah, kind of a damning statement here from FNS about the tournament format. Of course, with 12 teams, like they've decided to bring 12 teams to this event. It's tough to do it any other way than giving 4 teams a bye and getting the other 8 teams to play around. Yes, they could do, I guess, like 3 groups of 4. I don't know. 12 is a weird number in that way. If you brought 16 teams though, then you actually could do that, right? You could have 4 groups of, let's say 4 groups of 4. Very similar format to this. The 8 teams get out. That's how I think it should be done in theory. That you should bring it like 16 teams to Masters instead of just 12, and then you do, 4 groups, just like we did with 2 groups, but do 4 groups instead. That I think is the better way to do it. Then it means you can open up more spots for other regions, like North America having 2 spots seems still somewhat unfair. And FNS actually believes, I'll share this clip for you guys in a second, that they should be way more spots than just 2. I think North America, people are saying, hey, maybe they should have 3, like, whatever you think about that, you can leave your thoughts in the comments below. But FNS seems to believe they should have 6. He reckons their region is so strong and has such great strength in depth that North America should have 6 spots. Personally, I don't mind them having 6 spots if the tournament has like 32 teams in attendance, which honestly is probably even better in the way to go.
I wish North America had like 6 slots because I think we have an insane region full of talent. How do we only have 2 slots? I love that I could get controversial with that one. I needed to say that.
But whatever you think about that, the 2 North American teams that arrived to Iceland are none other than the Guard and OpTic Gaming. They shall play each other tomorrow in a match that is going to be absolutely epic, right? And one of these teams will go down to losers straight away. We shall see. It's obviously on LAN. OpTic, I guess, should probably be slightly favoured here, given maybe their history and experience and the fact that the Guard haven't played any matches on these setups yet so far. But of course, the Guard did win in the online finals they played in that crazy, I think it was a game 5, wasn't it, on Haven that they won it in the end. We've got to talk about this other series, because NIP versus Zeta Division, this was an unbelievable series. It was so much fun to watch. Like, NIP won the game 1 pretty comfortable here on the split. It looked like, okay, fair enough, Zeta beat Fnatic with 2 substitutes, but they might well struggle now to put up a good fight against a very solid team like NIP from the Brazilian side. But no, still, NIP get the job done game 1, goes to a second game on Icebox, and once again, right, there's been plenty of problems with this event so far, including none other than this moment right here, where this entire Icebox game, this is a ridiculous clutch, by the way, like, there's absolutely 0, well, kind of a HUD on the map. It's just unbelievable. Like, you can't see, basically, like, the overlay thing that they have usually for the event is just not there at all. So you can see right here it's 6-3. This on the big screen, like at 4-0, they had like a little text box that came up to basically say like NIP are at 1-0. It was just shambolic, to be perfectly honest. There's so many things that have been wrong with this event. It doesn't feel like hype at all. I don't know if you guys feel that, but like for a major event like this, like when Zeta Division made the comeback on the game 3, which they did eventually, as we'll look at it in a second, this went to the fracture. Zeta Division, or maybe I said NIP made the comeback, but it was Zeta who of course made the comeback against NIP, the full collapse from them. Some disgusting shots here actually from Crow, but when they made this comeback, you would have thought that like in some of these moments, like the hype was obviously there. Of course, there's no crowd. Like the fact that as soon as some of the rounds ends, they don't send the observing straight to the players. Like, you lose a load of those moments, right? And I think even Tarek says something like, it feels like they're just playing online a lot of the time, which I completely agree with. It doesn't feel like they're at a LAN. It feels no different a lot of the time to these online games, which reduces the kind of power and the feeling for it. But anyway, NIP up 6-3 at this point. Great round here from Crow, gets them back in contention, and then Laz as well. What a player he was this series, honestly. Phenomenal to watch this guy a lot of the time, gets the collateral with the tour de force, picks up a couple more as well with the judge, and yeah, that was just so crucial for this team to get back in the game, but still, they go down 12-8. It's NIP on the defensive side, they go up 12-8 in this game, and then Zeta bring it back. They win 4 offensive rounds in a row, including this one. They honestly, like, NIP collapsed to a degree. It was definitely a bit of a collapse going in from those guys, but like, honestly, Zeta, they made some great plays, some great execution with the Astra as well, over towards the A site. In the end, they win this round as well over towards B, and sorry, I got it the other way around, but they win this round at A, they win a great Astra execute over towards B, they win the final round as well to take us to overtime, they win their first defense, they then close out the entire thing. Unbelievable comeback from Zeta Division. Like, it was so great to watch this, right, and like, just the reaction from the Japanese guys was incredible. The casters as well, I'll show a clip at the end of the video of the casters' reaction to this, but yeah, unbelievable turn of events. The Brazilian guys in ninja pajamas, a complete collapse from them, unfortunately, up 12-8. They needed to just win one of the next, few rounds. They completely throw it away, and a 6 in a row for Zeta Division gets the job done. Unbelievable. Phenomenal performance. So good for Japan as well as a region. Laz was emotional in his post-game interview, and understandably so, and who knows how far they can go, right? It's a great victory for them. Just a phenomenal series, and these are the final series stats actually to look at as well. 2-1 to Zeta Division. Game 1 was the split. It goes in the favour of an NIP. 13-6. At this point, it felt like it was probably going to be GG. Then 13 to Tunnel Icebox, and then 14-12 after crazy overtime. 10 as well. We've got to mention 10, right? This guy had so many crucial moments in this series. That, Sugar 0, 10, Laz. Those are the guys in the way, I suppose. But like, just wow. Great performance of all of these players. Really makes an exciting affair as time progresses as well, because these are the 8 teams that are going to go to the playoffs. Crazy stuff. Zeta Division, fantastic for Japan. Paper X there as well. Loud DRX, Liquid G2, and then the Garden OpTic from the North American side. This then is the bracket. So 2 games later on today. G2 versus Zeta. It's really tough for me to think that Zeta can get through this one again. I kind of doubt that's going to be the case. I'm taking G2, probably 2-0. But, I was on the hype train of Zeta Division yesterday. Maybe I should continue up. Then Loud versus Liquid. To me, I think Loud, if anything, should be favourites here if they didn't have 2 players kind of in quarantine, in isolation. Therefore, I might take Liquid 2-1, just because I know how much that affected Envy last time at Champions, but a tough one to call. And then Paper X, DRX, and the Guard versus OpTic going on tomorrow. But yeah, incredible tournament so far. Very much intrigued to hear all your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tell us your YouTube gods, this is a good video. I'd also like you should see it as well. And hope grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
みんなありがとう。快挙です。選手もお疲れ。こっからだ。プレオ進出。まだまだある。オーバータイムを制しました。